and good afternoon everybody. How are we all doing? I hope we're having a good day so far. It is Saturday the 13th of July 2013 and we're here to review the newest chapter of Smallville. This is the side story, so it's Hollow Part 1 and 2 I'm doing here in this video, so it's both chapters. Part 1 of Hollow was supposed to have been released last week Friday. We don't know why it wasn't, but then they released it this Wednesday as a surprise, go figure, which was also in line with the print issue of Smallville, of the final part of Argo. And then obviously yesterday part 2 of Hollow came out. Next week part 1 of chapter 1 of 12 of Olympus begins, which is where we hopefully get to meet Diana for the first time, so I can't wait for that. Anyway, so I'm doing both 1 and 2. Going to mix them all together in this video, so try not to make it too long, hopefully. So here we are. So Lex, look at that. Look at that awesome cover from Cat Staggs. How amazing is that? So Michael Rosenbaum-like, isn't it? So she's really good at that. That's what I love about Cat. Really good at that. The artist for this particular story arc, the side story, is a chap called Benny Lobel. So when I've been reading and looking at the artwork, it's very good. I mean, I've been used to so much artwork before, and everybody that has come on board doing all the artwork for Smallville have been amazing. Everyone that has put all their pencil work to paper, it's amazing. So anyway, this is where we kick off. Tess, as you remember, she's now digitised, and Emil Hamilton comes into Watchtower. They both have an interesting conversation between each other. If you remember, they kind of had a thing for each other back in season 10. It seems that Tess has been, well, does she dream? Well, maybe she does. There are fragments of her life that we see here, but again, you know, there's even a shot of where she gets blasted with heat vision by General Zod. That was not very good for her, bless her. But yeah, so that all kicks off. We even get a shot of Black Canary and Speedy working together. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. So, and they're both working in Seattle at present, dealing with some, well, local law enforcement. Well, there's an armed robbery in progress, and so Speedy and Black Canary are both working together. That's amazing. It's good to see those two together. And as I say, if you look at the artwork, they look just like the human counterparts, basically. Elena Huffman in there in particular. So anyway, we'll move past that. Emil Hamilton is basically telling Tess that he has developed a way for her to wear clothes, because she is actually naked, given that the fact that she's more of a computer now than she is actually human. And she's like, well, I don't really want to be wearing clothes. I'm fine. You know, clothes are for people. I am no longer a person. Which is true. She's not. We're at LexCorp. Otis wakes up Lex and begins to tell him about, well, he tells Lex about the spaceship that arrived way back in the Guardian chapter, the Guardian story arc even, you know, the spaceship that appeared from Earth 2, yeah. Well, now Lex wants to know more about that spaceship. There's also Tessa's having a chat with Clark. We don't know where Clark is at the moment, but we'll find out eventually in Olympus, because it does say in here, in 2 weeks, read part 2 of Olympus and Smallville, chapter 56 for Superman's side of the scene. So we'll see where he is at that point. So that's in 2 chapters time, so not next week, the week after. So anyway, yeah, as I say, it carries on. So Lex is leaving the building, and he's approached by 3 guys. Apparently he fired them. Obviously he doesn't remember. But he did say that, given his reputation, that if this was several years ago, I'm led to believe that rather than have had you fired, I'd have had you killed, which is true. He would have. But let's just say it doesn't go to Lex's. Well, Lex gets the bad end of the deal, basically. Tess is watching, and she doesn't do anything about it. So that's the end of chapter 1. She doesn't do anything about Lex's predicament because of the way that Lex treated her. you know, from when he brought her into the scene and made a CEO of the company when he disappeared, and then eventually his passing. You know, she then found out through Lana what was really going on, that Lex was just using her. She was seeking redemption with Clark, which is now why she's joined the Watchtower team. So she doesn't really care for Lex as much as she used to, or as much as she should do anyway. So that brings us on to the second chapter. We find Lex in hospital, battered and bruised. There's a female therapist in his room that Otis has brought in, you know, to try and talk to Lex and ease Lex into the whole situation that he's been in. Not just with the beating that he just took from 3 guys he fired, but regarding Tess and other emotional stuff as well. So, but Lex is in the middle of talking to this therapist. He's getting dressed, because you know what Lex is like. He's not one for just sitting around and doing nothing. He wants to get up. He's got things to do, because it's Lex. It's that simple. So anyway, Otis is like helping him out and everything. You know, you got to feel sorry for Otis in some sense, because he does things for Lex, and in some ways Lex doesn't really appreciate him. Lex wants to fire him in some occasions. I mean, there's even one section here, where is it? It really does make me laugh what he says about how he's not actually being fired or anything. Oh, I can't seem to find it, but it did make me laugh when I seen it. Oh, sugar, you're here somewhere. No, something about the stock. More even important. No, Otis. See, Otis is nothing if not a man of persistent half measure. Yeah, there we go. So, the therapist is telling Lex he's worried about you, Mr. Luther, and he's saying, well, seeing as how Otis seems to be the only person concerned for my well-being since my return from hiatus, that's perhaps the only reason he hasn't been completely fired. So, you know, no one else seems to care for Lex but Otis. That's why Otis is still hired, you know, because he does care about Lex. He worries about Lex. So, as I say, Tess is watching all of this on the camera feed, and Lex is due to get some treatment. Let's just say that Tess wants to make a mess of said treatment, but unfortunately, something intervenes. There's a situation developing in downtown Metropolis, and unfortunately, Superman is busy elsewhere. It looks a bit like Notre Dame he's in, but anyway, he's busy somewhere. So, unfortunately, the only person that can help is Tess, because everybody else is scattered around the world doing other things. So there's a fire, and it's amazing what Tess does. Okay, all I'm going to say is that she really does put the system to good use. She takes over the helicopters, she takes over the cranes. It's fantastic. It really is amazing. It's just beautiful to watch. And you hear someone ask they say to the father and son, the father and daughter rather, who have been saved. They said, "Oh, how did you guys pull that off?" They said, "Well, we didn't." Then who did? And the girl, you just see the girl just go, "Some kind of hero," you know. And wow, Tess worked her arse off there, is all I'm going to say. So anyway, going back from what I said in chapter 1 regarding the spaceship that arrived in Guardian, well, Lex is telling his scientists that they want to recover it. You know, he wants that. He wants the rocket, basically. And they're basically saying, well, it's not a case that they will just hand it over to you. He says, well, who says we're going to ask? I'm not going to ask, we're going to get it. So, yeah, it really, really is an amazing couple of chapters so far. I'm intrigued to see where Hollow will take us, because it's brutal. And again, I have to give Benny Lobel some epic credit on the artwork. It is amazing. As I say, the facial features in particular are just like the actors and actresses themselves, which is amazing. You know, like I said at the beginning, credit to everybody who has done all the artwork on all the chapters and the story arcs that we've had so far, and it's amazing to see the work is still going really strong. Smallville is doing really well. It is amazing, so it's fantastic. So everybody involved, well done. Thank you all very much. And as I say, next week it is chapter 1 of Olympus, and then the second chapter of Olympus after that. So 3 chapters of Olympus as always, I believe, and then it will be part 4 of Hollow, and then yeah, you know the drill now. So there we go. Anyway, that's it from me. I am now going to enjoy the sunshine because it's asking for it. Okay, it is blisteringly hot out there. I'm going to enjoy it. Anyway, thank you all very much. See you all very soon. Bye.